Hello and welcome back. Today I get to show you guys a whole new brew system. This is the SS Brewtech SVBS, and it is their all-in-one electric system. It seems like a lot of companies who already made kettles are kind of making their own version of electric kettles, and I'm really excited to get to try out another one. I've never used another electric brewing system other than my claw hammer. I am actually going to be brewing on this today. I'm not going to just show you an unboxing video. I'm going to brew my Flagship IPA. I think it's going to be good. This is for a release in Chicago with Pilot Project. So it's a pretty run-of-the-mill West Coast style IPA. Low IBU though. I already made this once and I didn't like how hoppy it was, so I'm decreasing it a little bit. And yeah, that's what I like, so I'm gonna release what I like. Okay, so when you get new equipment, you've got to like clean and passivate it. So I've already done that. Save you guys watch me clean. And now I'm basically gonna hook this all up. So this is a 240 volt system, so you do have to have the 240 volt. I actually had to get an adapter for mine because they use different plugs. There's like 1,000 different 240 volt plugs or 220 volt plugs, whatever. And one thing I will say is that if you do get this system and your 240 volt is like in a weird spot, like on your wall, like mine is, you're gonna probably want an extension cord. Like that's why we're in this corner, because the cord isn't long enough to reach where I usually brew on my claw hammer. Anyway, so let's get this set up so we can actually brew. I apologize, I'm gonna be looking at my phone a lot for this because it is a new piece and I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so we're just gonna plug it in and then we're gonna plug in the touch display. What's cool about this one is it actually has a touch screen. The future, we are in it. So both the plugs are back here. I should actually shut all these. Before I do anything, I'm shutting all the valves. This has a pump inside it, so it's a little more technically advanced than I am. So I'm just trying to not spill everywhere. All right, so plug into plug. The touch display plugs into the same area, so I'm just gonna plug it in while I'm here. All right, plugging it in for the first time. It's so nerve-wracking plugging in a 240. And the power button's on the back with all this other stuff. Woo! Woo! Start brew. Okay, so before you brew, it suggests you run 2 gallons of non-foaming sanitizer through it. I only have Star San, and I already did just clean the crap out of this, so, and it's brand new, so I'm just running some clean water through, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that if I can figure it out. All right, so make sure all your valves are closed. All right, this is a little racking arm and some silicone tubing comes with it. So I'm just prepping this so that I can attach it to the port. All right, and now I can attach my tri-clamp to my racking arm. All right, throw my hose in my bucket. All right, so now we're gonna open the Recirc and Whirlpool valves and turn on the pump to circulate, and then we'll drain it. Have to hit the start brew and then pump. So as you can see, it is pumping and recirculating. All right, that's enough of that. And now we're gonna open the knockout and let it drain. And then press stop to stop. You're definitely gonna want a level surface or a slightly angled downward surface for this, because my table is not set up that way. And it can't get all the water out. Okay, so now we can take this off as long as the knockout is closed. Okay, so now I have to get ready for my mash, which means I have to install my screen and all the fixins. So first comes the basket seal. So this goes on the very bottom. Right there. And then comes the pump filter gasket. Oh, so this is a gasket that has to go around this. So you gotta lube it up. It's like a big old rubber band. That was actually way easier than I thought it was gonna be. All right, so this just sits on the bottom. And you don't want to see the drain hole. That's the secret. All right, so now we're ready to put our water in. So for this beer, we're gonna do 7.5 gallons of mash water, 28.5 liters. And I'm gonna do some water additions that I've already prepared. So it's gonna be 4 grams of calcium chloride, 1 gram of Epsom salt, 6 grams of gypsum, and that's it. Oh, and a Whirlpool tablet just to make it not be chlorine-y. Okay, so now I'm going to basically purge the air from the Whirlpool and Recirc arm things just by opening them. And then shutting them again. Because I already used my pump, I gotta hit restart brew. And now I gotta install my Recirc tube. Fuser cap's already in there. Derp. And then this goes like so. Okay, and then this gets attached to the basket. So this is basically the recirculation arm. And you attach it with a good old tri-clamp, like so. All right, so now this sits in there on top of the little black dealie in there, the little gasket. And you want to test the circulation of it. So I'm gonna restart my brew. My mash, I'm gonna set my strike temp. So my mash temp, my strike temp is 158 or 70 degrees Celsius. Oh, and you can set like presets and stuff. All right, and I'm gonna hit my heater. I'm also gonna test my pump now. Oh, I gotta open up I gotta slowly open my Recirc. All right, so I'm gonna throw in my water additions right now. So that's the 4 grams of calcium chloride, 1 gram of Epsom, and 6 grams of gypsum. And I'll put my lid on. I'm gonna leave it cracked though, because we got the Camden tablet in there. A lot of off gas. It smells so weird. Very sulfury. All right, so once I am at my strike temp, I will see you guys back here and we can mash in. Okay, we are at our strike temp. So I'm just gonna turn the temperature down to my mash temp, which is 152 or 67 degrees Celsius, and we can mash in. So I'm only gonna do a 45-minute boil and 45-minute mash on this one because I'm basically out of time already for today. It's what happens when you try to set up new equipment in the afternoon and then brew the same day. Not ideal. Oh, I guess I should tell you what my grain bill is. So the grain bill is 9 pounds of two-row, or 4 kilograms, 1 pound of aromatic malt, or 454 grams, and half a pound of each white wheat, caramel 10, and Carapils, which is 220 grams each. All right, we're gonna turn the pump back on. And then again, slowly open the Recirc. All right, I'm gonna shut this up for 45 minutes. You can set a timer on this guy. 45-minute check. And I will see you guys back here once that's all done. Okay, our mash is done. So now I've got to lift this. I'm gonna turn off my pump first. Stop my timer. All right, pump is off. I'm gonna go ahead and set my heat to boil. Turn it up to 100%. You can change the percentage of like power it gets. All right, so you are at home, you're gonna probably want to do this on the floor, but I'm filming, so yeah. There are these little tabs, as you can see, and they just hook onto where the handles are. So you're gonna wanna lift it very evenly. And that's why this is meant for 5-gallon batches, because it's impossible to actually lift that unless you're, what? Trying to think of someone who's really strong. Hulk Hogan? I don't know. I'm from Florida. That's what I got. Okay, so that is draining out. And while it's draining out, it is also heating. Well, now it is, because you have to hit the heat. I'm gonna move this just to this bucket to finish draining out. What's cool about this one is you can actually fit it in a typical 5-gallon bucket. So our boil volume is at 6.5 gallons. We're a little low, but we'll probably make up for it and get our 6.69 gallons or 25.3 liters. And now I'm going to take my gravity reading, my pre-boil gravity reading. I'm just gonna crack my lid on this so it heats up a little faster. It's already like 6 o'clock here, and I'm not very good at being a person after dark, so don't have much time left. Okay, so our pre-boil is looking like 13.7 Brit, which comes out to 1.057 for our pre-boil gravity. It was supposed to be 1.053, so we're a little high. One thing, if you're looking into getting an electric brewing system, 120 volt versus 220 volt, it makes a huge difference. I would say that the 220 is almost 3 times faster than 120. It's not a linear scale in any way. So we're heating up really quick. If this was a 120 volt, it would probably take me almost an hour to heat up to a boil. And it's probably gonna take 20 minutes or so to do it here, maybe less, depending. I turned down my heat percentage to 75% because this was like about to go over, which I'm not used to brewing in a 20-gallon kettle. So it's coming back up to a boil, but I've got a ton of liquid still coming out of here. So I'm just gonna let it boil a little bit while we wait a tiny bit. But while I'm waiting, I can go over our hop addition. So I'm only gonna do a 45-minute boil just to save time. And honestly, like, I don't really ever notice a difference when I do a 60 versus 40. So for a lot of my beers that I only have late hop additions, I'll do a 45-minute boil. But anyway, so our hop bill is at the 15-minute mark. We're gonna do 1 ounce or 28 grams of Simcoe. At the 5-minute mark, 2 ounces or 56 grams of Mosaic. And then for a Whirlpool, we're gonna do 2 ounces of Cascade or 56 grams. And then I'm gonna dry hop with 3 ounces or 85 grams of Citra. So this is based on a couple of my favorite beers. So Bottle Logic's Recursion and Mother Earth's Buku. Those are like my 2 favorite IPAs, and this is kind of a combo meal of them, if you will. I think Recursion's actually a double, but this is a single, so less ABV. There's just so much liquid in there. I'm actually curious I never do this, but I should, because this is just interesting to me. The liquid that's draining out, I'm never sure what the gravity is. So, it's like, why not see? Oh, it's much higher. So that's coming in at 16.8 for the gravity of what's draining now. So the gravity of that coming out is 1.071 versus our 1.053. That's really interesting. Now I know that I'm always going to want to add the last runnings to the kettle. Obviously, you're going to want to do it with a clean bucket. So I'm going to turn my percentage up back to 100 just while we get it back up to a boil. Okay, we're at our boil. I'm going to turn it back down to 75. Set my timer for 30 minutes. Since we're doing a 45-minute boil, our 15-minute addition will come at the 30-minute of time elapsed mark. All right, I'll see you guys back here when that's ready. All right, so our 30 minutes is up and we are ready to add our first hop addition as well as our wort flag tablet. I'm gonna throw in a hop screen. And this is our 1 ounce or 28 grams of Simcoe. I'm gonna turn up my heat a bit just to get it a rolling boil so that the hops get all mushed around. All right, and I'll see you guys back here in 10 minutes when we are ready for our next one. Okay, it has been another 10 minutes, so now we're gonna add our 2 ounces or 56 grams of Mosaic. And while we're waiting for the last 5 minutes of the boil, I'm gonna set up my pump. All right, so that's our 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn off my heat. And our Whirlpool is supposed to be at 176 degrees. So what I'm gonna do is turn on my pump and just start whirlpooling this. And hopefully that'll cool it down enough that we don't have to start the chiller yet. So I'm gonna open my Whirlpool. So this is taking forever. I think I am gonna have to start my chiller. So I'm gonna go turn on my water, make sure it's in the right position, and then we can get the pump going. All right, so I'm gonna open my knockout. That will run this through the chiller. All right, it's at 190. I'm gonna stop my pump and just let it keep mixing. All right, we're at 180 degrees. And I'm gonna call that good. So now our Cascade will go in. And now we got 20 minutes of that. And I will see you guys back here for the full chill down and the transfer. Okay, our Whirlpool is up, so I'm gonna start chilling. I'm gonna close my Whirlpool. And open up my knockout. My water's already running. All right, and I'll see you guys back here when it's chilled, and then we can transfer right into the fermenter. So I had some trouble with my microphone, but I'm doing a voiceover. So this is me adding 3 ounces of Citra, which is 85 grams in the dry hop. I have already added my Safale 05 yeast to the fermenter. My original gravity ended up being 1.064. Now I'm just gonna seal it all up, attach my spunning valve, and we'll be all done. I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.